doing the mail-in shoe for the 2019 Summit. This is 13 inches of 3/8 by 7/8. Dead center would be 6.5. We moved it over 1/8 of an inch, so we have 1/4 inch more on the lateral side. So we'll go ahead and get a toe bend heat. We're gonna make the toe bend. I like to have the edge of the concave closest to my hammer hand. I'm gonna start at about 1/3 and then just work up to the other 1/3. Do it again. Try not to make too many hard, obstructive hammer blows that will mash your concave. And then I'm gonna bring and tighten up each side. Bring it in. Just kind of tippy tap it around. You don't want to really forge hammer on horn. You want to leave a little bit of a gap. You can see I have a good basic toe bend. I'm going to have, excuse me, 1.5 inches for the calipers for each toenail. And that's my start. Alright, I want to break this corner. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to fold that corner in a little bit. Now, this hammer blow is more backwards into the stock. I don't want to go down. I don't want to make a long penciled out heel. You can see I'm fairly round. Nice round heel. Now I'm going to put it where I think the quarter bend is, and I'm going to push with my tongs as I hit the branch. I'm not going to hit against hammer on horn again. I'm just slightly off the horn. Just flattening things up. Off the horn, and then right here I'm going to follow it on around. Now I'll punch the rest of my nail holes. We're going to put 4 nail holes in on the lateral branch. I'm going to leave somewhat of a gap for my clip and my stud hole. So I've got 1, 2, 3, a little bit of a gap, and then the 4th nail. I'm going to just run the bottom edge with my hammer, just the bottom edge so I don't collapse the concave. And then I'll punch it one more time to bottom out the holes. Get right to the edge of the hardy hole. That gives you the most support, and then they go clean. If you go in the center of the hardy hole, it bellies the material. What I'm going to do is we're going to shape up the material, I'm going to forge the inside, the medial heel, and I'll fold this over a little bit behind the quarter, just safing for when a horse, when they're standing in the cross ties or they're messing around, they don't scar their other foot with the shoe. I'm going to make the medial heel in the same fashion. I'm going to fold over the outside corner, come back in. These are more backing up blows than they are collapsing blows. my circle, clean up all my lines, and finish off my lines. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the inside edge of the stock and thicken it up. I'm going to take and imagine where my heel nail is and gradually accelerate down to the base of the heel, and that puts a little bit of safing. So now whenever I bend my heel quarter, I hit that outside edge and it's folded over and it's stretched nicely. When I say stretch, it pulls any kind of hammer mark out of it. And I'll put my nail holes in. Then I grab the back edge, and when I say the back edge, the ground surface, I put it slightly on angle, and I just put my frog eyes back on that edge so as not to collapse my concave. Right on the edge of the hardy hole. When we bring it out, I have a 5/16 stud punch, and what we're gonna do is I gotta imagine I'm hovering over this line to get the most material. So if you think about it, I'm about just 2/3 of the way inside the stock. So when I flip it over, I'm gonna be right about there as I'm over the top of the mass. This is gonna give me the best shot of having a good collar on my stud punch. All right, imagine that I'm right over that strongest part of the concave. You drop it in until you feel it hit the bottom. Now if you look, when you flip it over, I've created a circle. It's all done off of eye. Now what I want to do is I want to find the center of that circle to make the best collar. Over the hole. And if I would have been right on the money, it would have popped out. We have a nice collar, because if you don't have a collar, then you got nothing to thread. So if you punch it from this side, you won't have a collar. If you just drill a hole, you won't have a collar. It'll rip the drill bit out of your hand or rip the shoe out of your hand. So that's why you punch it from the back side so that you can make that collar. All right, again, what you want to do is imagine where the thick part of that concave is. Drop it in. Feel it hit the bottom. Now I have a nice circle. Try and be dead even of the circle. You have all areas the same. And push it through. Yeah. All right, we'll do the part that y'all are waiting for. That part. Bottom it out. You can see, just try and get your hole the best you can. It won't let I can do those clean 10 out of 10 times, and that one's got a burr in its bonnet. I'm just gonna close this shoe up a little bit. Open it up. All right, now we'll clip it. We're just gonna quarter clip it. Might as well do the hard one first, huh? You wanna find a soft edge that you can pull some over. These are nice. You don't wanna have a hard edge, and you don't wanna have it just be round. So just like something that you can tug some material over the edge. Still got my collar, and then just come in here and draw your clip out. Before you bend the clip over, at the angle of the hook wall, just kind of get in there and flatten everything out, and then just do a little bit of opening that hole back up. Can you see that? More. Now what, if you get back just a little bit, I'm gonna have it just slightly back to where I have a gap in the horn. And I'm just gonna go from toenail to toenail and angle, and this will true up my toe. It might make my branches out of whack, but it'll true my toe up. So I'm gonna just come here, and I'm gonna just pinch up the shoe just a little bit to the other toe nail. I'm gonna grab it here. See, and I'm gonna get slightly back on the horn, and then I'm just gonna go from one edge all the way over to the other edge, to the other toenail. Come in the back and push to the outside edge. Push to that outside of the peripheral edge of the shoe. And now I have my toe sweetened up just a little bit, the edge knocked off of it. What I'm gonna do now is out in the field, what I do every day is I'm just gonna drill out my holes and tap them, true them up with a drill bit. But the important thing is that I have a collar to actually true up. concave, it's just nice to have the edge of the cross peen knocked off, just so that you don't hit the inside rim of the concave. It just helps you to stay off of it a little bit. You can do this, you can modify this with just about any kind of hammer. Thank you. Alright, so this is... Tell me when you're rolling. I'm rolling. Alright, we've got the shoe just finished up. Probably the order of judging and critiquing would be, you want to make it to size, width and length, and the distance between the heels. The nails, you want them to fit. We are going to take some sort of a stud and try and run them in the holes. If the threads don't work, those are going to be things that then we'll go to cleanness of lines and forging and whatnot. But so we want nails to fit, the length, the width, and the stud holes to fit. And those would be before we get to the idiosyncrasies of what looks more appealing, what shapes and stuff like that. But those are going to be definitely what will keep you in the judging and in the run for winning this, if you can have those aspects and then put nice lines on your concave.